everybody. Thanks for joining me as we take a look at your weekend forecast for April 14th through the 16th. And this forecast continues the spring, warm and dry weather. Although the warm and dry weather, at least the very warm and very dry weather, will come to an end as we end the weekend. But through the weekend, it's going to continue. So we continue with basically the low impact forecast. In most ways, the only exception to that is that fire danger continues to be high. That will be true until Monday, basically. So please don't burn. There's been a bunch of brush fires, some bigger brush fires. We have lost the wind the last couple of days, and that will continue to be the case. That helps keep the size and the speed at which brush fires spread down, so it's not quite as dangerous. However, still very easy to get them going with the very dry, very warm air. Okay, what's going on across the country? We have this low, this cutoff low that's been swirling around, caused all sorts of problems to our south. That continues to be there. This system is now slowly creeping in our direction. As you can see, it already is sort of doesn't have a lot of organization with it still, but it will eventually get here along with this system to our west, which is what is starting to kick it in our direction. So it looks at it and you say, well, a day or so or less than a day. If, during the winter on a winter storm, you might say a system that was here now would be into our area by could be as early as this afternoon. Nope, not going to be this afternoon, not going to be tomorrow afternoon, not going to be even Sunday afternoon. But finally, the system breaks down and we get a bit of a front that combines with whatever moisture is left from this system. It heads in our direction late Sunday night into Monday morning. It will not be a huge deal, but it will bring some sprinkles. And then our pattern turns, looks like for next week, more unsettled and with more chances for colder weather and some wetter weather as well. Doesn't look like a total washout, but definitely nothing like what we've had this week. Can't last forever, although this has been a pretty nice stretch for spring. If you look on radar, you can see, again, not super organized here across the south. And the system out to the west doesn't have a ton of moisture with it yet either. They will pick up a little bit more moisture, and there will be a bit of a front that moves through. But there is still a bit of a front north to our north. There is still some cooler temperatures. Some areas might get just enough influence from this basically stationary front that if you're north of, say, like Rutland, if you're headed up towards West Leb in places like that, kind of in the northern fringe of the areas of southern Vermont that I forecast for, temperatures might be a degree or two cooler, definitely not cold, but cooler than it's been. Still up the valleys, certainly Route 7, and I think up the Connecticut River for the most part, and at the higher elevations as well. We're still plenty warm, and I think we will hold on to those warm temperatures. You get into far northern Vermont, and the air mass is slightly different up there. They're not quite as warm as we are, but I think we're looking solidly in the 70s today. I think we'll see some 80s once again. It's summertime heat here across southern Vermont. Here's the pattern. This has been basically, remember, we had the high pressure sitting and the ridge sitting over the low pressure trough. This is at 500 millibars. That is still in place, but what has happened is to our west, we've kind of had the trough break down, and you can see this is what often happens with a blocking pattern as it starts to break down. This trough will eventually kind of catch this cutoff low, and together they'll kind of sweep a trough across the eastern part of the nation and finally kind of break down this persistent pattern, which has been holding our weather basically in check over the last several days. And that's why finally by the end of the weekend, however, we still have 3 nice days before that happens, but by the end of the weekend, we will be starting to see our weather pattern change here across southern Vermont. So what does that look like in terms of the actual forecast over the next few days? Today is basically pretty much a carbon copy of yesterday. Temperatures pretty similar to yesterday, maybe a degree or two cooler. Tough to tell exactly where we're going to end up. It depends on exactly how sunny and things, but basically a carbon copy of yesterday. Basically full sun, temperatures in the upper 70s on average for most of us in southern Vermont. Some places will hit 80. Some places like over in the Hudson River Valley and things like that yesterday were up in the mid upper 80s. It was hot down those directions, and it was pretty warm here too. Pretty warm. It was very warm. Overnight, we do cool back to around 50 degrees with the clear skies. Nice dry overnight. The dew points are way down. Saturday, a few more clouds as the fringes of the system start heading our direction. That'll hold temperatures down a little bit. Not a lot, but a little bit. Temperatures in the low 70s, maybe mid 70s in some locations on Saturday. It's not that much cooler. This is still way above average, almost 20 degrees above average. Wow. Today is definitely 20 degrees above average. Tomorrow's more like 15 degrees above average. But anyways, And then overnight, we're back down to about 50. Sunday, again, with daytime, more clouds on Sunday. That holds our temperatures down a little bit more. And then overnight, the clouds really do kind of finally thicken up, I think, and we see some sprinkles. These are really not till about daybreak. So it's not as if you've got evening plans that kind of spill into the overnight. Early overnight, you're fine outside, I guess, if you wanted to do that. Temperatures will be in the mid 50s. It'll take a little bit of time. It really won't be till probably Monday before we start to really cool things off. And again, we're not cooling things off to like March levels. We're cooling them off to like average April temperatures, which is still a lot warmer than it's been because that's the time of year we're in where it gets warmer more quickly. Let's take a quick look at your weekend highlights. Very warm today, near record type of warmth. A little cooler, but still well above normal for Saturday and Sunday. A front moves through with showers around daybreak, Sunday night into Monday. Temperatures trend back closer to normal, headed into next week. And the brush fire danger, that's really the only high weather impact, will remain elevated through the weekend. As a volunteer firefighter, I would say a lot of us have spent a lot of time over the last few days out at brush fires. So just be responsible with burning. Well, pretty much you probably shouldn't be burning at all. Certainly call your fire warden. You should do that pretty much anytime, but particularly right now, they're probably going to tell you not to burn. So don't do that, please. Because we are all mostly in Southern Vermont, almost exclusively volunteer firefighters. We have other stuff we could be doing. We don't mind coming and fighting fires. That's why we joined the fire department. But we do appreciate not having to do it unless we have to. And you also don't appreciate it when we have to come and run hose all over your property and things like that. So just be careful with things like that this time of year. It will green up soon, and then basically, for the most part, in Southern Vermont, thankfully, we live in a place where fires during the summer are not really a problem for the most part once we green. All right, so that'll happen by mid-May, no matter what. So, okay, thanks for listening to my pitch about forest fire issues, and I will be back. I am on vacation with the kids. The kids are at school vacation. We're out of town next week. So you'll have some version of a forecast on Monday. It might be just text on Facebook. So if you don't follow me on Facebook a lot of you just follow me on YouTube. You might want to check in on the Facebook page if you're really excited about the weather next week. I might do some sort of short video. It'll look very different than a normal video. So we'll have to see what happens with that. So that'll be true for next week's forecast, and I won't be back in time. I won't be back next Friday morning yet either. So next weekend's weekend forecast will also look a little bit different. And I'm not sure quite how either of those is going to look. I'm going to have to kind of see what my options are as we head into next week. But thanks for watching the forecast. And I want to give a quick shout out to my patrons to help support what I do here. If you haven't subscribed to the YouTube channel, I'd encourage you to do so. Helps make sure you don't miss any of my videos. See you in some form on Monday.